The political headlines in Kenya at the moment are extremely alarming and also confusing. Confusing because Kenyans are sure that behind the scenes something is happening, but they have no idea what. Now let's sample a few of those headlines, and let's start with the news of the day. Murathe resigns from Jubilee. Let's look at another one. Ruto allies threaten to impeach Uhuru. Wow. Now, I've just been pretending I'm you. Because my reaction to those two headlines is a yawn. And I will tell you why in a minute. But first of all, let me give you my real headline. The one that has touched me. Now, this particular headline has shocked me, not because of the contents. It has shocked me because of the speed, at which these people want to do this thing. And the headline is, "We are ready for a new coalition," Murathe says. Now let us break down all this so that we understand very clearly what is rapidly unfolding on our political scene. Now, my advice to you is that first of all, be very careful about one thing. Shift your mind completely from the West, from US or Britain or wherever, and tell your mind, I'm analyzing Kenyan politics. If possible, repeat that 10 times. I'm analyzing Kenyan politics. Now, there's a reason why I'm telling you that. If the headline was Murathe resigns from the Republican Party, that is hot news. That is very big news. Now, that would have been very big, earth-shattering news because the Republican Party was founded in 1854, the Republican Party in the United States. But Murathe resigned from the Jubilee Party. The Jubilee Party was established, wait for this one, in the run-up to the 2017 general elections. Yep, it didn't even exist in 2013. Let me just remind you. In 2013, the presidential elections was won by a coalition called Jubilee. And this coalition consisted of two distinct, separate political parties, URP and TNA. Remember? So Jubilee is a very new political outfit. So please, to limit your confusion, tell yourself 10 times, I'm analyzing Kenyan politics. Now, you may wonder, why is Kumekucha insisting on this? Why is Kshs insisting so much on this? I'll tell you. Just yesterday, there was a tweet by Professor Makau Mutua. What the good professor said, David Murathe's resignation is the beginning of the end of Jubilee. Things fall apart. That's what Professor Makau said. Now, if you read the responses to that harmless comment, and in my view, very obvious comment, you'll be surprised. My feelings mingi sana. Some people got very upset. What is he saying? Jubilee finished? What is he talking about? Some Kenyans even insulted the professor without even understanding what he was trying to say or what he was saying by these remarks. Now, I don't want to say people are not intelligent. So let me just put it like this. I think people are reading so fast that they didn't notice the word government does not exist in this comment by the professor. He did not say it's the beginning of the end of the Jubilee government. He said it's the beginning of the end of Jubilee. And there's a huge distinction. May I remind you that in Kenyan politics, political parties mean nothing. Zilch. I won't even call them vehicles that people use to get into power, although they're exactly that. I'd prefer to call them pieces of paper that people fold and put in the inside pockets. That's what political parties are. In the run-up to the 2007 elections, there was a party called Orange Democratic Party of Kenya. That particular piece of paper was as a result of the 2005 national referendum on a new constitution. And the Oranges, the sides opposing the new constitution, won the day. And Kalonzo Musyoka, who is a lawyer by profession, drafted that piece of paper. And what Bwana Musyoka wanted was to ride on the popularity of the other members who had teamed together, ganged up together to oppose the constitution at that time, and take over power from President Kibaki, become president of Kenya. This motive became crystal clear when, as the 2007 general elections rapidly approached, it became clear that Bwana Musyoka would not be the ODM candidate for the presidency, and that it would actually be another gentleman called Raila Odinga. And so Bwana Kalonzo Musyoka, still very determined to become president, carefully folded that piece of paper he had crafted himself, put it in the inside pocket of his jacket, carefully patted it to make sure it's safely in place, and walked away. Now, according to Bwana Musyoka's careful calculations, he expected people to run after him for that piece of paper. And he knew, according to him, that they would have to sit down and negotiate, because the constitution at that time did not allow anybody to run for president without being backed by a political party. And in any case, a lot of money had been spent, a lot of money, effort, time had been spent promoting ODM Kenya countrywide. And Bwana Musyoka sat quietly, sipping his cup of tea, expecting a knock on the door at any time. The knock never came. What happened was that another crafty lawyer from the Meru area had already put together another piece of paper. And the piece of paper read ODM, Orange Democratic Party, period. Distinct and separate from ODM Kenya. The people who were supposed to knock on Kalonzo Musyoka's door rushed to this lawyer and paid him an insane amount of money for that piece of paper. Meanwhile, Mwai Kibaki, seeking re-election as president, did not craft another piece of paper titled Banana Democratic Party or Banana Party, because the bananas lost that particular referendum. The bananas were for the new constitution. Instead, President Kibaki crafted another piece of paper titled Party of National Unity, PNU. And as soon as he was safely inside State House, he threw that piece of paper into a dustbin somewhere in State House. Some people scrambled for it, thinking it was valuable. But today, where's the PNU? Where's the Party of National Unity? Nowhere. So, what was the good professor saying when he was saying it was the end of Jubilee? All he was saying is that the piece of paper, titled Jubilee Party, is about to be thrown into the dustbin. So what else is new? No need for my feelings. It's normal. This is Kenyan politics. Now, let's break down the professor's tweet, so that we understand exactly what he was saying, because it's important for our purposes here, for us to understand exactly what is unfolding in Kenyan politics. The clear implication in the tweet is that there's a division in the Jubilee Party. And this division spells doom for the piece of paper titled Jubilee. Now, I believe the division the professor is referring to is not the division of the DP Ruto camp and the rest within Jubilee. No. He was referring to another more dangerous division. And this is the division between two sides, of which I'll call one the Uhuru Kenyatta exit strategy team. This is a very small group of very powerful people within the country called Kenya. And then the other group is the rest of the Jubilee politicians. Now, to understand these groupings clearly, we need to understand what they want, what each group wants. Now, the Uhuru exit strategy team wants a smooth, seamless exit of President Uhuru Kenyatta from power, so that when the president walks out of State House, he'll be able to continue with his life, whatever that will be, without any trouble to him and without any trouble to the country. You know, I've said on this channel several times, a president leaving power in Africa is a major issue. It is not just a matter of handing over the keys to State House and putting your hands in the pocket and walking into the sunset whistling. It's not. Now, to understand the other group, we need first of all to start by understanding how they got elected. They simply rallied behind a piece of paper titled Jubilee. That was their winning ticket. A vast majority of them were not even the most popular candidate. They were actually the most influential candidate. In other words, they rigged themselves into getting into that piece of paper called Jubilee, because they knew once they were on the Jubilee ticket for the elections, it was going to be a walkover. There would really be no election. It would just be a formality. Now, this group of people are extremely worried, and they're not worried about who will take over from President Uhuru Kenyatta. That is the least of their worries. Their worry is which piece of paper, they will need to append their name to in order to get re-elected in 2022, to their particular positions. They don't want complications. What complications am I talking about? They don't want voters to be confused. They want Jubilee to remain, so that all they'll do is that they'll go back to the people in 2022 with that piece of paper called Jubilee. And according to their plans, they'll be automatically re-elected. Now, the president's exit strategy team, of which a man called David Murathe is an extremely prominent member, have other worries, and indeed very serious worries that every Kenyan should be concerned about. Now, assuming these guys do exactly what the politicians want, and keep Jubilee intact, and go into the elections in 2022, and sanction DP Ruto as a candidate for that Jubilee party, and the Mount Kenya region does not vote for DP William Ruto almost to a man, there'll be trouble. And the trouble will not be Jubilee losing the presidential elections. No. The trouble will be the members of this Jubilee party, or Jubilee piece of paper, who are based in the Rift Valley. There'll be a lot of anger, possibly even chaos. Those people from the Rift Valley are going to evict Mount Kenya people who are in their province, who are in their area. Because they will say, we supported Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013. The only reason he became president is because we voted for him almost to a man. Under intense pressure, and even as we are suffering from very bad maize prices, etc., we still voted for Uhuru. And therefore, in 2022, we expected you to do the honorable thing, and vote for a man. But what have you done? You've betrayed us. Now, for any careful analyst of Kenyan politics, somebody who understands Kenyan politics, especially Mount Kenya region politics, this is the most likely scenario. I've read a lot of commentaries about the Mount Kenya block of votes. And let me just be honest, and I'm not showing off, I'm not trying to tell you that I'm cleverer than other people. No. What I am saying is that most people do not understand Mount Kenya voters. Now, Nyanza voters, Raila Odinga can go to Nyanza and instruct the voters to vote in a certain way. Save maybe for Migori. But that is a story for another day. Raila Odinga can instruct Luo Nyanza to vote in a certain way, and they will obey. They'll vote in that way. Now, unfortunately, nobody can tell Mount Kenya voters how to vote. Not even President Uhuru Kenyatta. That is a very important point we need to understand. And it is a point most analysts have missed. Even some of the smartest analysts I know. In the first multi-party elections in Kenya, in 1992, or rather, the first return to multi-party elections in Kenya in 1992, there were two major candidates from Central Province. Those were the late Kenneth Matiba and Mwai Kibaki. Now, most analysts, including my late political lecturer, predicted that Central Province would vote for the more senior Kikuyu candidate, and that was Mwai Kibaki. They predicted that although Kenneth Matiba was very popular, he would only get votes from his native Murang'a. They were wrong. It didn't happen like that. Instead, Central Province voted for the more junior politician from the region, Kenneth Matiba. And the word on the ground was interesting. They said there's no way they were going to vote for a coward. Mwai Kibaki was viewed as an indecisive coward. The local press at the time labeled Mwai Kibaki as the leader who never saw any fence he didn't want to sit on. Central Province voters have always admired brave people. I always hear my in-laws, my in-laws are from Central Province. I always hear them say that that man is not strong enough. We will vote for the strong candidate. That one, bado hajaiva, is not strong. To them, a politician must be brave, fearless, and without those qualities, they don't see you as a politician. Let's look at another election. In 2002, again, there were two major candidates from Central Province. Mwai Kibaki again, the coward, and the more junior politician, Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, the self-proclaimed professor of politics, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, thought he had those elections in the bag. He knew that the opposition candidate would most probably be a man called Raila Odinga. And even if it was not Raila Odinga, according to his calculations and his intelligence, and intelligence in terms of information from the intelligence, he knew that the other possible candidate would be a non-Kikuyu. And therefore he pushed through Uhuru Kenyatta as a KANU candidate. Crafty Raila Odinga said Kibaki tosha. At Uhuru Park, Moi was surprised, but he wasn't too concerned because he could remember the 1992 elections, when Central Province had rejected the coward Kibaki. There was no way they were going to accept him in 2002, according to Moi. And Moi confidently instructed Central Kenya voters to vote for one of their own, to vote for Uhuru Kenyatta. Central Kenya voters don't take instructions, so they sat down and analyzed the two candidates. They looked at Kibaki. Kibaki was the stronger candidate. The other younger candidate, alikuwa bado hajaiva. He was not yet ready. He was not ripe. He was not strong enough. And so, they all voted for Kibaki, for Mwai Kibaki. Now, it's worth mentioning something very quickly. I hope it doesn't confuse you. But something else had also happened in the 1997 presidential elections. Mwai Kibaki handlers went back to the drawing boards after the 1992 failed attempt, where Matiba trounced Kibaki by a landslide in Central Province. And they carefully positioned their candidate away from being called a coward, or away from the coward label. People who knew Kibaki well were shocked at the kind of statements Kibaki was making in the 1997 campaigns. He was insulting Moi, and that was not like Kibaki. He was doing everything possible to look brave. He was even very aggressively campaigning in Moi's own backyard in the Rift Valley. And so it was in 1997 that Kibaki handlers managed to change that label, remove that label from their candidate of being a coward, and position him as a brave candidate. There was also another very strong motivation amongst Central Province voters in 2002 to vote Kibaki rather than Uhuru Kenyatta. And that was to remove the devil KANU from power. Now 2013 is even more instructive, and more revealing in terms of the psyche of Central Province voters. Even if another strong candidate from Central Province had emerged in 2013, they would have stood no chance against Uhuru Kenyatta. Simply because, in the eyes of Central Province voters, Uhuru Kenyatta was now brave, very brave candidate, very strong. And there are very many reasons why the electorate in Central Province saw Uhuru Kenyatta in this way, but I'll mention only one. He was a suspect, he was facing very serious charges at the International Criminal Courts at The Hague. So, bottom line, you can never instruct Central Province voters on how to vote. And it would seem even the Ruto camp, even an experienced politician like William Samoei Ruto, has failed to see this. The way for DP Ruto to win Central Kenya votes is not for him to be sanctioned by President Uhuru Kenyatta. No way. The only way for him to do it is to find a brave candidate. Somebody who is very brave in the eyes of Central Province voters, and he'll win their vote. Now, I appreciate the fact that at the moment, no such candidate exists. But it's not too late. In fact, it's very early. There's more than enough time to create, to build such a candidate, to be his running mate. Anyway, now that we have understood the deep psyche of Central Province voters, who are key in this analysis, we will now move to break down the Murathe issue and this resignation manenos and this new coalition manenos, according to Murathe. And we'll do that in the next video. As soon as that video is ready, you'll see the link on your top left-hand corner of the screen, and you'll be able to click and go onto it. If there's that link missing, the video is not ready. Just come back after a few minutes, it'll be ready. You don't want to miss that video. Catch you there in a bit. This is Kshs, Kumekucha.